Well, that didn't take long at all, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back here. Game number 2. That's Slick Seth Lynch over there. Mr. Shane Gucher joining me today. Thank you so much for saving my voice, sir. Solo casting can be fun, but is it ever murder? And we'll give props to our good buddy Zoya TV for actually toughing it out for today for his 3 sets of games as well. Big love to him, hosted the channel. And, yeah, we love Tempo Storm. We love Zoya. So.
Everybody, we are in to game number 2 between these two teams. Last battle was just a single target versus ancestral healing.
Easy.
Single target won out pretty well, but the draft is going quick. We'll get into it. RGE had first pick. They first picked themselves a Tassadar, and then Evil Geniuses with their 2 picks, they picked up the Vala Demon Hunter and a Kerrigan. And Sean, you and I in that small period of break talked about this exact same thing. I predicted a Zeratul ban from RGE, and you immediately said, yeah, that's going to happen, but then they're probably going to get a Kerrigan. That's exactly what happened. So we were both right on that.
We know what ZPs likes, man.
They banned the Zeratul, but they're like, okay, you're not going to give us the Zeratul. We're going to get the Kerrigan instead. What I want to know is RGE going to stick with the Sergeant Hammer? The map is Dragonshire once again. Zeratul is out now, so they don't have to worry about that Void Prison, which is the bane of all Sergeant Hammers everywhere. But now also Kerrigan is a very effective tool dealing with Sergeant Hammer as well.
And Evil Geniuses on the back of all of this, they're going to say, all right, so we're going to have this big engage comp. Kerrigan's going to be going in. What is the big bane of Kerrigan? Well, you stun locker and you pick up an Uther with a cleanse, double heals, cleanse, and his own repeated counter initiates as well. That's going to be tough cookie to crack here for RGE. But they got themselves an Arthas and a Tychus. Tychus, of course, has been making it through these bans. In fact, the Stitches is still on the table as well. I'd be curious to see if EG wants to go with a little bit more of a zone control as well on the back of that with the Bile.
One thing that would be interesting from RGE is if we saw a Thrall. Obviously, I mean, Sundering is so good. When the moment Kerrigan initiates, lay down a Sundering, keep that split that Kerrigan from the rest of her team. And the reason I want to say Thrall is because Tassadar is obviously a very strong hero, but he's very strong at supporting melee assassins, and that's exactly what Thrall is. Melee assassins without a Tassadar just aren't nearly as strong as they are with any sort of other support. So we might possibly see a Thrall here because of the Kerrigan. I think he would actually be pretty damn effective with what they're lined up with right now. They already have an Arthas up there to do control for Thrall, Howling Blast. So it'll be interesting to see that, but we're going to see what they pick up anyways. Evil Geniuses did get that Falstad, picking the Falstad up, who unfortunately has fallen off a little bit, but we're still seeing him come in the last part of the draft every now and then. I mean, what are you thinking right now, Sean?
Well, RGE, we talked a little bit about the Sergeant Hammer as well, if they were going to go for that. And the Sergeant Hammer Tychus can be a very terrifying lane. Level 4 comes around, you get the extra range on the hammer as well as a melting point. But at the same time, they also need to put up a healer on the back of that. And having a healer with just the Arthas for the front line and, the Tassadar sorta at level 10, it's not exactly your strongest of the front lines. And RGE, I think, really does treasure that. And, actually, I'm going to look over here and see that they are actually going to go with the Bash Brothers, which is the Arthas Tyrael combo. But they need a healer on the back, and they don't have an Uther. The Fight Dog did not work out whatsoever. It's very likely to be, I want to say, a Malfurion at this point.
I was just about to say that. Obviously, Brightwing is on the table. But Brightwing is facing Uther Cleanse, so Kerrigan is going to get cleansed the moment there's a Polymorph going out. So there's a good possibility of a Malfurion. Obviously, Roots kind of has that factor as well. It's no Stitches yet, which is very interesting. I think Evil Geniuses needs a warrior.
EG.
I think EG is gonna. You were both looking at that Malfurion pick, and that's exactly what's coming out here. I actually like Malfurion better than Brightwing in this situation. Evil Geniuses, for this entire tournament, we've been following them through the bracket since their very first game today, and they are perfectly okay with Stitches being available. I feel like they are almost baiting teams into like, go ahead, pick the Stitches. We got something prepared for it. And I love that they're doing that. We saw that from Barrel Boys yesterday in Kings of the Storm as well when I was casting with Zoya. We saw that exact same thing. Barrel Boys were like, go ahead, pick the Stitches. They made a strategy around it and ended up sweeping the floor against the Stitches. And that's what we're possibly seeing out of Evil Geniuses. And when teams do things like this, it's completely meta shifting. It completely changes the meta as a whole. All of a sudden, you and I and everyone else are saying how Stitches is overpowered and needs a nerf. And then Stitches is, I mean, for all we know, Evil Genius is going to pick up a Murd, and there's a possibility we might not see him
or a
pick
Battle
band at
Cow,
all.
but I'm still going with the Stitches. The Stitches into Uther Kerrigan, that's just a sweet pick.
That's a very, I mean, you have the Gorge as well, Falstad with Hinterland's Blast, unless Faye, who I'm assuming is going to be playing, could be Elziona. Whoever ends up playing the Falstad could go with the Gust. I don't foresee that happening, but we can always cross our fingers and hope.
It'll be Faye on the Falstad. It'll be Idra on the Vala, and woo! 2 for 2.
Yep.
It will be the Stitches' last pick. So Malfurion, I want to say, is going to go into the Trank in the Ice Block. They blew him up absolutely last round. He's going to be looking for Retribution because they picked this map to go back into the Dragonshire. That's 3 competitive Dragonshires in a row for them between the semis and these 2 finals games. They're clearly wanting to prove something here. And now with an almost unkillable ult Ice Block combo from the Malfurion, we'll have to see if that will come to pass. But please, Mr. Shane, give the teams a go-ahead here from the casting. But it looks like, actually, you're not in-game. Get in-game and then tell them that we're ready. Faye needs a few seconds here so we can aircraft a little bit more. But RGe APM, this is potentially match point. Because if they don't put a point on the board here, they will drop it 2-0. Still, they get second place, but they won't go home with cash. But they will get the seeding points, which means that we're very likely to see them in the monthly for February.
This ESL Go4Heroes has been very interesting. Between the games we have casted, a lot of interesting things have happened. Tempo Storm, aka Symbiote Gaming, who have been the most dominant North American team for 6 months
ever,
ended up going down to ESP Wildfire, which Wildfire has been a big name in competitive heroes, just like SMG, with a little less success. And obviously today they proved a point. They ended up beating kind of the big guys on top in Tempo Storm, and they went in versus RGE, who is a team I have never heard of. And I was like, I'll admit that I said this. I was like, Wildfire's gonna win. And did I make a foolish mistake? RGE ended up beating Wildfire, and now they're here in the finals. They put up a okay fight in the last game. They drafted pretty well, but I feel like just we talked about it a little bit, won't go into it too much, but just Void Prison was too much for them to deal with. Their draft made sense. I understood why they drafted. They definitely were drafting specifically to what they were facing, but the Void Prison was too much to handle, which is why we saw the Zeratul ban, why I predicted the Zeratul ban, because they couldn't deal with that Void Prison. But I love it when I see new teams like this come into the scene and just kind of shake it up a little bit. You know, the North America needs more stuff like this. The European scene is very, very, I mean, not to say North American is, but the European scene is just very, very vibrant right now with a lot of awesome teams and whatnot. Their viewership is always up there. And North America, I feel like, needs more good competitive teams, and I'm hoping that we're going to see that out of RGE today. I definitely feel like they can take a game off of Evil Geniuses. We're going to see here in Game 2, though. We're just waiting a little bit for Faye to get back here. The draft is underway, though. I mean, what are your thoughts? yeah, right. What are you thinking about the draft? I mean, what are your thoughts on the draft now that we see the big picture here?
It's I want to say that the last pickups here from RG were actually really good. They got themselves a Tychus. They took away the Tassadar, and on the back of that, they got themselves the great front line of the Bash brothers there with the Tyrael and the Arthas. I think it's a fantastic lineup, but I also know that ZPs is very scary on Kerrigan. He gets off anything at 13. It's going to be a double wombo combo, and that is a lot of time to set up for the Uther Stun, for the Hinterland Blast. For the Vala, I'm assuming it is going to be Idra on the Vala. Idra has been favoring single target picks for his talents, which means, hey, look at that. 2 big and beefy targets, including, well, 3 if you want to put the Tassadar in the top of that as well, right? So very likely it's going to be a single target build here from Idra, and it's also likely to be Rain, which means that we have stuns upon burst damage. It's up to RGE to not group up and not get caught with that.
All right, there is the ready up. Evil Geniuses is ready. I'm going to say casters are ready. Just waiting on RGE to get themselves together. I'm sure they're talking over what they're going to do this game, how they can improve upon the last game. Obviously, getting rid of that Zeratul was a first step to getting themselves a victory here. This is game number 2 between RGE and Evil Geniuses. This is the finals of the 9th week of Go4Heroes ESL. These teams are fighting for $100. RGE is fighting for a spot in the majors. and they are definitely going to fight their heart out to try to get both of those. I actually think they have secured themselves a spot in the majors just by getting this far. I'm not 100% on that, but that $100 sure would be good to go along with it. We're in the match, though. Go ahead and introduce these teams, Sean.
On the left-hand side, the new contenders to the scene. They've been around for a few weeks now, and they've been getting farther and farther in every bracket. RGe APM, or actions per minute. Bella Morte, Pen, where did that go? Glissa, Sage, and Falatarin going to be making up your party here on the blue. And on the flip side, perhaps a team you know a bit more about.
That's right, Evil Geniuses in red this time around. Idra playing one of the heroes he was known for when he first came into Heroes, the Vala Demon Hunter. ZP on another flagship hero playing the Master Skin Kerrigan. LZ Gamer on the Stitches. Over in the top lane is Faye on the Falstad. Last but not least, I think I introduced all 5 of them. Nope, Quiet Rice on the Uther. That's who I forgot. No, I forgot someone's hook just off the mark there. Level 1 talents are here. Look at the Vala. Look, we're going to see a single target right-click build from Idra on this Vala here.
Very, very likely, because again, they've just been really favoring that. Looking at the Uther again, you know, just once we get to 16, is it going to be that holy shock? Well, we'll have to wait and see for that. Good hook there on top of Sage, but it's not going to be quite enough because Blissa's there, got his back. That Malfurion scheme is absolutely bonkers. But Faye into the top once again, not a power throw user, is going to go once more into the bribe. And on the flip side, looking at the Tychus, you know, armor piercing rounds is again just kind of risen in the popularity. Level 1, that's what he does now. Almost solid every game, I think, in the last 2 weeks has literally been that.
Yes, it's big. I love seeing the differences in how people play heroes and whatnot. So I love seeing that type of thing coming out. The shrines are here, though. 3v3 in the bottom lane. A very high potential for a gank coming down here on the bottom lane with that Kerrigan. Though if Glissa lands a good entangling roots, they could counter-initiate into him. Tassadar is here. He did push the lane in, coming toward the bottom. It's a typical tactic we see out of anyone playing Tassadar. So I always see Tassadar go mid lane on this map so often. It's because he just pushes the lane, rotates in and out. Both the shrines immediately going for RGE, though I'm pretty sure Idra is just going to be able to, he's going to be able to safely keep Pen off of the shrine and harass him off of that so far. A lot of contention down here in the bottom lane over this shrine. Faltrin is a little bit out of position, but speaking of out of position is LZ Gamer. He's going to be our first blood. So well done by RGE. They got the first blood. They get themselves a level 4. Off to a good start.
Definitely a much stronger start than what we saw in game number 1. Idra, you know, you said he was able to just kind of keep that dragon at bay, but after a few pokes, I mean, the shield and storm combos coming out from Tassadar are going to be enough to take her down because he does not have the vamp at level 4. Yep. It will be the Manticore as well. And RGE is staying, you know, very, very well split on their lanes. They're getting that maximum soak. Bottom lane is pushing in, one tower down, other one out of ammo, and it looks to be joining its brethren, but mid as well, you know, Pen has actually gotten more done here at the 2-minute mark with the Dragon than Idra did with the 8-minute mark in the previous game.
Bottom lane, ZPs get initiated underneath the tower, but they're going to have to fall back. They might be able to reinitiate with a Primal Grasp and Impaling Blades combination. That's what ZP's looking for. There's the Ravage. Run and gun. He is able to get the combo. That was just on the very corner of the Impaling Blades there. I thought it wasn't going to hit him, but it did. Sage went down, but they were able to get... RGB was able to get both of the towers bottom lane. They got both of the towers in mid, and you can see it in the experience discrepancy already just 3 minutes into this match.
Idra has actually now given up mid. He's rotated to the bottom. Faye is now actually going to be holding down the fort here in the mid. And again, Faye does have those bribe stacks, so she doesn't really care where she goes. It's going to be, you know, one place or the other. Stun on top of Glissa, but ZP's is just not there to capitalize, so it's not going to be a big CC combo on top of Malfurion, but yeah, I actually did expect Sage to get out of that. You saw immediately, as soon as you see a Kerrigan jump in, everybody just tries to diagonal walk, they perpendicular walk, they'd moonwalk if they could, just to get out of that big stun. But here's that stun again, bringing Falatarin down real low. The single target damage from Idra, not enough to capitalize on a kill, but it will actually send him home.
One thing, I don't know if you talked about this, Sean, RGE does have the double healing totem between Malfurion and Tassadar. They do. They went on Malf, they went on Tassadar, and then you're going to compound that with a Tranquility. That is a huge amount of AoE damage. Tyrael went amplified healing, so there's so much AoE healing coming out from this team for a single support draft that they have. And RGE, I have to say, is double. Oh yeah, you're right. It's your Tassadar. I forget. Tassadar is a support.
Yeah, okay, I know. Classifications, right?
but they just have so much AoE healing, and RGE are definitely doing better this game than they were in the first game. This Kerrigan really hasn't achieved that much. It's only 1 kill to even another 1 kill on both sides respectively. And obviously ZP, when you have a Kerrigan with ZP playing the Kerrigan, you expect a lot of early game aggression, rotation. Yeah, but they opted out of rotating and making her like an aggressive roamer, and they just committed her to the bottom lane to try to do damage control the bottom lane, and it didn't really work that well as they lost both their towers in a small amount of time. So right now this Kerrigan pick hasn't translated into much.
Well, Valetarin has actually been putting up a really good front wall into this bottom lane. That's definitely something to be said here, going up against the ZPs. But there's the combo coming in and the stuns, the 1-2 punch, and down goes the Lich King. Bottom will actually go the way of EG, so will the top. Stitches has been doing a really good job dueling out against Bella Morte, who uses his sword to get over the wall. But now with the pressure here mid, Pen, even with that range increase, you know, it's just not going to be enough, and Faye is going to become the first Dragon Knight here for EG.
And just on the cusp of level 10, this is a good opportunity. They are down, I believe, 8 towers? Let me see here. Yeah, they're down... Towers? What's 4? I'm sorry, 4. 4. Sorry, for some reason, I said 4 in my head, and then I said 4 in my head, and then I said 2 lanes times 4 is 8. I meant to say 4. They were down 4 towers. Even with being down those 4 towers, they were ahead in experience. Now they're catching up, taking these 2 towers down mid lane. And now we're seeing the experience starting to swing over to Evil Geniuses. Glissa almost going down there in the bottom lane. The Dragon Knight going top, pressure being applied in the bottom lane. Both teams have level 10, but neither of them really consolidating. No 5-man roaming shenanigans right now. A little bit of action going in the north and the south lane. LZ Gamer hooking Bella. Don't know if it's going to translate in much. There's the 3 points. Field goal for Bella Morte, but not much going to come out of that. Yeah, both teams just kind of applying pressure to the lanes. The Dragon Knight, yeah, it got 4 towers. That's not bad for a 5-minute Dragon Knight. So Evil Geniuses able to make up the difference in experience, able to get a kill on Bala. Sage might be going down here in the bottom lane. There's a Tranquility. There's a hammer just on him. They're having used the Odin defensively. Is this the turnaround, though? No. There still is not enough people there for a turnaround. They're able to get the Tranquility off. They're able to force the Odin. They're going to retreat. They're going to be happy with that trade right there, Sean.
Do you hear a guitar in my background?
No.
Good. Roommate came home and he's strumming away like a jerk.
Wait, just add a little music to the...
I'm quickly going to get AFK for the camera to close the door, but continue on.
That's all good. Now that we're here at level 10, looking at the ultimate choices from Evil Geniuses, I'm definitely cocking my eyebrow right now with Stitches going Putrid Bile, but that's not the biggie there. There is the Arthas, good lord. There is the Ultralisk out of ZP. And what's really funny is in between the matches, I was actually on one of the Skype chats, I was talking about Ultralisk. And Faye is the one who told me, like, yeah, Ultralisk works on Overdrive. Yeah, start giving me facts about Ultralisk. No, you told me about it. Then I put it in the chat, and then Faye started educating me about Ultralisk. And now we see Ultralisk being used. Speaking of things being used, there is a Rain of Vengeance, a Howling Blast, not going to keep them alive. 2 people going down, forcing the Archon as well. Now the Archon Pen's probably going to be going down here. He doesn't have the talent that heals him yet. So Evil Geniuses weren't able to achieve much in the early game, but now that they hit this mid game, they are really putting it to them.
Yeah, sorry, the whole guitar thing just put me a little bit on tilt.
It's all good, man. It happens, man. It happens.
But my microphone is awesome, so apparently you didn't hear it. Great. Either way, as you said, that was some big plays right there. 3 kills, no, that puts us at 5-2, and that is a dead bottom gate on top of things as well. Yes. EG taking a big level lead. They don't have those 13 talents, but also I'm looking at now the 13 talents for Evil Geniuses. Faye, 2 games in a row, possibly even more. Giant Killer. She absolutely loves level 13 Giant Killer. But on top of that as well, we have the Valor with it. So they are going to be shredding down these tanks. We're jumping in on top of Kawhi Rice. He's not going to get out of the one. We do got the cast aside for the level 13, but there's the return hook on top of Valetarin. The combo from ZPs is going to keep him actually locked up, but that's the Trank from Glissa. This is very likely a dead fort, but Faye has the split pressure up to the top. Now, you're talking about Overdrive. You're talking about the Ultralisk. I don't know if we're actually going to see a combo with that Overdrive on top of the Ultra, but it's definitely one of the funnier combos you can do.
Yeah, that's why I just thought it was funny that I was just talking to Faye about Ultralisk, specifically how Overdrive affects Ultralisk, which I didn't know about until you told me. and now we're seeing the Ultralisk. So it'd be funny if we actually do see the Overdrive Ultralisk. You might have sparked something, Sean.
Yeah,
Maybe Faye went like, hey, GP, try this out.
The pros are well aware. They're well aware that actually works. And the only reason we're seeing a Kerrigan is because of the Zeratul ban anyways. DPs would rather take a Zeratul on this map. But regardless, 15-14 shrines are up. They're going to go the way of both to the blue, and Glissa's actually going to be able to grab it just before that Ultra hits him.
Well done by them. They were able to get that bottom fort. Now Odin and Tranquility are both down, so they can't overcommit too much to a push here. I believe Archon is down. If it's not down, it's going to be up relatively soon, I would imagine. But they can't overcommit too hard here. The reason why I think that LZ went Future Bile, and I definitely agree with it, is Gorge is used as a follow-up for Hook. Oh, hold on. We'll hold on to that thought. We'll talk about that later. There's a little bit of a skirmish going on here. Melissa did punt away one of the team members, Evil Geniuses, but they're actually not going to be able to get a fort at all. They were a little over-aggressive with that Dragon Knight. Now ZP immediately goes on. The combination onto Malfurion. They're going to the backline. They have the Malfurion. They have no Odin. They got to be careful here. There's the Rewan. The Rain of Vengeance actually completely dodged by Penny. Dodged the Hinterland's Blast as well. There's the Putrid Bile. LZ Gamer over to the west trying to do some work. Well, over here underneath a fort, we have Falstad being taken out. There's the Odin being popped with the Army of Dead, keeping him alive. Bella and Pen, though, are still alive barely. Very close to going down. Stitches go down as well, and surprisingly, RGE were able to turn that around even after their Malfurion getting just completely destroyed.
Yeah, so going back to the draft, I said it's going to be Malfurion with the Tranquility Ice Block combo. He went Shrink Ray.
Huh.
That's a little confusing. I don't think they actually deserve well, that's not the right word. I don't think that they needed a Shrink Ray in order to deal with this Evil Geniuses team. And that last fight on the back of it, it was actually RGE that came out ahead on that one. Not, you know, even losing out their Malfurion, they were able to stick around and juggle out their hit points well enough to get those kills. So very well played for them on the back of that. I kind of actually just wrote them off in that last fight as soon as Malfurion dropped, and they didn't even take the fort. But now they have actually, fixed that problem and done so. But at the same time, we were just talking about the Putrid Bile, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's a great zone control. It lends itself very well to the big combos of Uther in your face and ZP's in your face.
Yeah, just because Gorge is used as a follow-up, and when you have a Kerrigan as a follow-up to a Hook, you don't really need the Gorge anymore. Going with the Future Bile, getting a little more utility damage, and also we're seeing it being utilized right here. LZ is getting initiated on. They're putting so much into LZ Gamer. Future Bile is up. Tranquility popped. LZ is still alive. The turnaround from Evil Geniuses is here. There's the Hinterland's Blast, but the Tranquility is doing work. Bella's not dead yet. Holy cow, I thought he was going to go down. The Arthas is down, though, so a one for nil exchange going the way of Evil Geniuses so far. Kawhi is getting that overkill down. Holy Light is up in time to keep himself alive. Evil Geniuses are going to be happy with that. They took down the Arthas. Both teams going to retreat, lick their wounds, heals up, and we're going to see some contention over this Dragon Knight.
So level 16 talents from both sides, and it's unfortunately not going to be that overdrive that you're looking for on the Kerrigan. It will be the double blood for blood combo. Both of them are really looking to shred out that Arthas, and so far the damage has been enough to take down one of the two tanks, one of the Bash brothers. I mean, we got the double giant killer, the double blood for blood. That's a lot of percentile damage to be, trying to suffer through. We had the double healing ward and the Tranquility. It still was not enough to keep this Lich King up. And now the map pressure is basically in EG's favor because they got the bot, they got the top. Idra's now about to become another Dragon Knight, and we are just not in position here from RGE to do anything about it.
So well done by them. I thought there's going to be a little more contention over these over the shrines for the Dragon Knight.
I got something wrong. I said it was going to be a Holy Shock at level 16, but Kawhi Rice, the one game he doesn't do it.
Statistically, we're right. There is a hook on the stage. And immediately, Odin, Tranquility is on cooldown. The two healing totems showing its effectiveness. They're both down right now. Everyone is still alive for RGE. Sage is still barely alive. First aid keeping him up. He's still alive, though Odin is on cooldown. Quiet Rice getting taken out. Bella is going to go down as well. A 2-for-1 right now. EG Denisius definitely has the potential to turn this around. Everyone is so very low on RGE. The Hinterland's Blast is not going to hit. Barely. So Faltern is going to be able to get away with a 2-for-1 exchange. LZ Gamer's low, and it looks like they're just going to keep pushing with this Dragon. They're going to... Good potential that they get this mid fort here. Don't know if they're going to get any towers or keeps off of this, so highly doubt it.
Well, you say that, but we got 15 seconds left on the Dragon. They might be able to take it on the gate, but overall, looks like there won't be any kind of keeps coming out of that one. Idra's now thinking, maybe just going to stay here and more to mid as well. 2 team members dead for RGE, but we're not going to be pushing the tower advantage, or perhaps we're just going to go for the Mercs as well. I mean, Bruisers are now there, And we do got the map positioning for it. The death timers are still very favorable here for EG, but even then, on the back of it, they don't want to at all. They're just going to retreat.
I mean, they don't have their Uther. It's hard to sustain a push when you don't have your support like that. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're probably not really pushing too much, though they are falling back here. They're not getting mercenary camps. That is the other thing that I felt, like you said, the bruiser camp. They definitely could have just fallen back with the numbers advantage and gotten themselves some mercenary camps. A little bit of a moment of hesitation for Evil Geniuses. They're not going to be able to achieve much with the power play that they had available to them, but they're about to have another power play. If they keep this up, Bella is very low, able to have Druins out there. Healing Totem is up. There's a Tranquility, and there is a Future Bile that is going to hopefully get Evil Geniuses out of there. Yes, and that now we're seeing Future Bile. That is why they picked it right there. Archon was popped. The Tranquility was popped, Army of the Dead was popped, and they just said, you know what? Let's get out of here, pop the Future Bile. Everyone is still alive. Evil Geniuses are in a very good spot right now. ZP looking like he wants to go in there and get a good combination down.
And, you say the Putrid Bile, finally we see it, but, we've been seeing it quite a bit. It's just a little bit harder amongst the big gist of things to actually see it out. But it's a great disengage tool. It's a great just carpet of damage. A great lockup right there from Evil Geniuses. They get the 1-2 punch. Down goes the heals. Down goes the Arthas again. Is the Lich King made of ice today? I have to question. He has just been getting repeatedly trashed by Evil Geniuses. And very close to 20 on the back of that fight. They are about to hit that Storm tier, and we're pushing in with the numbers advantage. We're going to be reset, and we still got a Rain of Vengeance in the bank, and we're about to get that Bile back up here as well. So this is a very good position for Evil Geniuses here in game 2.
Very much so. They are going to back off, though. They're all pretty low. They're going to fall back, defend this push bottom lane, as they do have some Siege Ogres pushing into their tier 2 towers there. Just about to. You're going to get cleaned up by Faye Falstad, showing his strengths with the epic flight there, as well as the bribe, getting themselves a little passive lane pressure with the Siege Ogres of their own.
So
and they're just going to go back to the map and try to get a direct.
Shane. Stitches is thinking. Stitches is thinking blink or regenerative. Blink or
They're
regenerative.
Both good. I mean, Bolt is always so good, but obviously, I mean, Gorge, it's no questions asked to go Bolt. But the level 20 talent for Future Bile is actually pretty good. Oh my lord, a 2-man Primal Grasp onto the Malfurion, but Tranquility is up. That is not enough damage. They don't have bursts like last game. Everyone is still up and very strong. Both Healing Totems going down. And yep, there it is. He went with a regenerative Future Bile.
He skilled it
right
immediately
there,
on that.
Yeah. The moment they saw that, they were like, nope, let's get out of here. So once again, Evil Geniuses.
Faye. Oh wow, Faye.
Oh, epic flight. Getting the dragon.
Yep. And I said last game, you get the top, you fly bottom, you get the bottom, and it's just nothing to do about it. But Faye using that epic mount to get from the top to the mid. There was an uncontested dragon. There was no kills in that big team engage, but Blink forward ZP, that's going to lock up the Bella Morte, and Bella is absolutely dead. Now the Ghost Form is going to be coming out. It's just going to explode uselessly on top of LZ. Glissa got the hook. He's now in the front line looking for the stun combo. It is going to be enough. Now Marion with the roots, and that will be his deathbed. Solitaire now with no heals is basically, again, made of ice. Drops really, really quickly. Pen has to use that dimensional shift, and perhaps the Void. Yeah, he absolutely used the dimensional into the Void to get out of that, and got saved by the creep at the end of it. 21-19 and 3 dead. Mr. Shangucha, I believe congratulations are in order for Evil Geniuses, taking home the winning spot here of Cup number 9 of the Go4Heroes Americas, and very well deserved with a 2-0.
Yes. Evil Geniuses getting themselves a tournament victory. Granted, this isn't like the big Kings of the Storm weekly final. This isn't the ESL Majors. That's not the Heroes Premier League finals or anything like that. But I haven't seen Evil Geniuses win a tournament in a convincing manner in quite some time. And they finally, now they can add that to their resume. They did win week number 9. They already were in the majors. They just got themselves $100 so they can go out, get themselves a couple of good beers, relax tonight, knowing that they're secured in the majors. Keep practicing up, and definitely Evil Geniuses, I have to say, with their new lineup here, they're looking better than ever here, Sean. I really like the lineup they have right now, and I think they're going to stick with it.
They've definitely done well for themselves with the pickup there on top of ZPs. The solidification of a roster is a very important part when it comes to putting together your team, because everybody needs to know what everybody else is thinking on the team. That's how the synergies are born. That's how you see these world-class teams. Symbiote, has done one roster change in since really its inception. I mean, and that was the Mad Timmy. And you know, for a while they didn't have Arthalon, or they didn't have Dreadnought. They didn't have their top car. They were a bit rocky, but now they got their solid 5. They're locked in. Same here with Evil Geniuses. They're climbing back those ranks. They've definitely lost a little bit when it came to what's going on with my overlay. It definitely lost a little bit when it came to their punch, but now here they are. You know, climbing back that ladder. They take home first place. We're very likely to see them in the finals for February. They are, however, in the ESL majors. You're going to see more of them from Tuesday and Thursdays now, which is fantastic. I believe they're also in the HPL as well. That's going into season 2.
Yes. So Evil Geniuses definitely in a very good spot to get themselves a lot of prize money here in the future between all the tournaments. Heroes of the Storm is really ramping up here, guys. It's an exciting time. Especially for me, as this is the first game I've ever really shoutcasted publicly for, so I'm very excited about it. But needless to say, so is everyone else involved. I mean, we're seeing a lot of Tempo Storm coming in, picking up a team. EG's been involved in Heroes of the Storm since before BlizzCon. 2 Cloud9 teams over on Europe. We're seeing Dignitas. We're seeing SK Gaming. All these big name teams are coming in. And
Todd, Todd, XMG Todd, ESL caster coming back into this.
That's right, man.
It's a phenomenal pickup right there.
So
it's almost like all the StarCraft community is just now shifting slowly over to Heroes.
Yeah, right. Which is not surprising. It's Blizzard is really putting a lot into this. Cruncher, that crazy article that came out that everyone knew was fake. I don't even want to acknowledge it. I feel bad just entertaining the idea that it
low
exists.
Expectations going to
that was just
PC
anyways,
Gamer on the back
totally
of that
digressing.
just releases their own. It's like Dustin Browder hyping up the games. It's like, we're going to add as many people as we want. We have so many map ideas. We have so many heroes. Just like, and then it's like, you know, which one's true? They're two sides to a different coin.
Well, I'm to end on a positive note. I'm really excited to see RGe in the future. Even though they lost 2-0, the first game.
This is their first time to finals.
Yeah, this is their first time to finals. They put up one hell of a fight in the second match. The first game, I think they did pretty damn well as well. I think it just came down to the draft. We talked about that a little much. We won't go too much further into detail about it. But they looked really good. They beat Wildfire. Wildfire beat, and we keep saying that, like, technically they beat Tempo Storm because they beat Wildfire and they beat it. But to be the man, you got to beat the man. And today they weren't able to get that knockout punch they were looking for, Sean.
It was an interesting story, though, today. I mean, Tempo Storm comes in on the back of their big announcements. You know, they were in the Kings of the Storm under Tempo Storm. Today is their first ESL in Tempo Storm, and they lost in their best of 1 to Wildfire, who then loses to RGE, who then loses to Evil Geniuses. So definitely a little bit more of up and down story today. Definitely very exciting. And thank you so much for joining me here, Mr. Shane Gucher, because we are done. This game 3 is not for the history books because it is a 2-0 for EG. And if people, want to see more of you, Shane, I know you're going to be on my stream definitely a little bit more in the future, but I hear you stream your own stuff every now and then.
I don't stream. I haven't streamed as much as I used to because that MMO called Real Life, unfortunately, has I'm really addicted to it right now. Yeah, the graphics are great. Holy cow! But no, I've been very busy ever since Christmas. I've been exceptionally busy for multiple different reasons. All of them are very positive things, though. But I am starting to get a little more free time. I might start streaming a little bit more. The big thing, though, is Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter all the time. Make sure you guys check me out. My handle's Shane Gucher. And if you want to check out my Twitch channel, it's Shane Gucher Gaming, because you are not a legitimate esports figure unless you either have gaming or GG or egg at the end of your name right now.
Damn. Well, the
I'm joking.
Jester,
you know I'm joking.
Not
or Jester.
whatsoever.
I'm just joking. You know I'm joking. But yeah, make sure you guys check me out on Twitter. I'll go ahead and link that into the chat right now and a half, even though you guys are going to see this well before I say it. You're probably looking, why is he linking Twitter? He's preemptive. Stop being a pretentious douche. But no, I'm not doing that. You'll see in the future I'm not.
Now, that smile, not douchey at all. Not whatsoever.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Of course, everything here for the tournaments, guys. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. FourCourtJester. We will see you guys next weekend, next Sunday, with Cup number 10. And hopefully I can get my good buddy here, Shane Gucher, back. And we will probably see you then. I might be floating around on a few of the other streams. But that is it for our coverage here today. Congratulations again, Evil Geniuses. Well-deserved, well-played. RGE, keep improving, keep coming back. The more finals you hit, the more experience you get, the stronger you get. So good game, well played, everybody. We are out of here. Of course, big thanks to Zoya TV as well, doing some coverage, and Strange Casting, Grr. He did a few matches there as well. So we'll catch you later. Have yourselves a wonderful sports ball day, and we'll see you next Sunday.